You sold Mom's ring? My voice broke into a scream so loud I thought the walls might shake. The words echoed inside me like the strike of a hammer. I stood staring at my brother, unable to believe what I had just heard. His face was calm, almost indifferent. No guilt, no regret. Just a trace of weariness in his eyes. Yes, he said quietly, as if it were nothing. I sold it. The world seemed to darken. A hollow emptiness opened inside me. The ring. The one I had held in my hand so many times, the one Mom had shown me when I was a little girl. One day, she used to say, it will be yours. And someday you will pass it on to your daughter. I remember her voice, her smile, the way the stone sparkled under the lamp as we sat together at the kitchen table. To me, that ring was not just jewelry. It was a thread connecting us to our past. And now it was gone. Why? I managed to whisper. I needed the money, my brother replied calmly. It was just sitting there, gathering dust. What's the point? My head spun. I rushed to the dresser and yanked open the jewelry box. The empty velvet cushion gaped like an open wound. I remembered how carefully Mom had placed the ring there, as though it were alive. I had opened it myself countless times just to hold the ring, to feel its cold metal against my palm, to remember her. Now there was only emptiness. Do you realize what you've done? I shouted. This isn't just a ring. It's family, it's our history. It's just gold, he muttered, avoiding my eyes. I had a right. I'm an heir too. Anger surged through me. I stepped closer and shoved him in the chest. You had no right to decide alone. It wasn't yours to sell. He pushed back sharply. It was mine too. I'm tired of waiting, tired of living in memories. I needed money now. I looked at him and barely recognized him. This wasn't my brother. This was a stranger, someone capable of betrayal for cash. Images raced through my mind. Mom adjusting the ring on her finger. Grandma in an old black and white photo. Me, a teenager, dreaming of passing the ring on one day. He had destroyed it all in a single decision. I collapsed onto the couch and covered my face with my hands. Tears burned my eyes. You ruined everything, I whispered. Everything that connected us to Mom. He stayed silent. The room was so quiet. Only the ticking of the wall clock reminded me that time was still moving. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat in the dark staring at the empty jewelry box, feeling myself break apart inside. I tried to imagine where the ring might be now. On some stranger's hand maybe. Or melted down already. We had lost more than an object, we had lost a piece of ourselves. Why didn't you even tell me? My question kept echoing in my head. I knew why. Because he knew I would never agree. As the hours passed, something new began to grow inside me. Not only pain, not only anger, but a burning desire to set things right. I realized this wasn't just a family fight. It was betrayal. And I wasn't going to let it stand. After that fight, I lived in a fog for days. Everything that used to feel normal suddenly lost its meaning. Morning coffee, phone calls with colleagues, even walks outside. All of it seemed empty. I would wake up and the first thought that came to me was, the ring is gone. But the hardest part wasn't the absence of the object itself. It was how my brother acted. He moved around the house calmly, as if nothing had happened. His indifference hurt worse than the loss. I tried talking to him again and again. Sometimes quietly, sometimes in tears, sometimes screaming. His answers never changed. It's just gold. Just a thing. I had a right. Those words cut deep. To me, it wasn't just a thing. It was Mom's memory, our family history. A symbol tying generations together. One evening I went to Aunt Lida. We sat at her kitchen table as I poured everything out. How my brother admitted he sold the ring. How he justified himself with rights. How betrayed I felt. She listened silently, staring into her cooling tea. Then she spoke softly. He had no right. The ring was yours. I froze. Mine? What do you mean? Aunt Lida lifted her eyes. Before she passed, your mother asked me, if anything happened to her, to remind you that the ring was meant for you. Only you, she said. This is her memory. Let her keep it. Her words struck like thunder. But, why didn't Mom put that in writing? Why didn't anyone tell me? She didn't want to hurt your brother. She thought he'd understand. She thought he'd honor her wish. I sat motionless. All this time I believed we were equal heirs to the ring. But it turned out Mom had trusted it to me. It was her last will. Tears burned my eyes. Did he know? I whispered. Aunt Lida nodded. I think he suspected. But he chose to ignore it. He needed money. In that moment, pain turned to rage. This wasn't just a greedy act. It was betrayal. He hadn't just sold gold. He had stolen Mom's will from me. When I confronted him with this, he shrugged. No paperwork, no will. Pretend it never happened. I understood then. There was no reaching him. And that's when the family split apart. My cousins said, "Let it go. You can't bring the ring back. Court will only mean stress, money, humiliation." But others, mostly women, whispered, "You must fight. That ring was meant for your line. Your mother left it to you." For the first time, I realized this wasn't only my pain. It was a test for the whole family. Who would respect the past, and who would ignore it for convenience? That night I sat in front of the empty jewelry box, feeling a flame of determination grow inside me. I opened my laptop and searched. What to do if an heir sells shared property? Articles, forums, stories flooded my screen. And among them, I saw the word small claims court. Small claims, a court for ordinary people. No expensive lawyers, no massive sums. A place that handled cases like this. Disputes over things that carried both monetary and personal value. I devoured story after story. Some lost, some won, but all said the same thing. If you stay silent, you'll be used. That night I couldn't close my eyes. I saw Mom's hands with the ring and my brother's cold face saying, "No paperwork, no will." And then I decided I would go to court. The next day I began gathering evidence. Photos of the ring on Mom's hand, pictures of the jewelry box where it always rested, the inheritance certificate, screenshots of texts where my brother admitted, "Yes, I sold it." And most important of all, Aunt Lida agreed to testify that Mom had told her the ring was meant for me. When my brother saw me spreading documents across the table, he smirked. "You think court will help? It's just words. No one will believe you." I looked straight into his eyes. These aren't just words. This is Mom's legacy. And I'm not giving it up. The day of the hearing came cold and gray. I clutched the folder of documents so tightly my knuckles turned white. Felt like if I let go, I would lose everything. My brother and I sat on the same bench in the hallway, but a chasm lay between us. He buried himself in his phone, pretending none of this concerned him. I looked at the people around us. Tenants arguing with landlords, customers fighting stores. Everyone had their own drama. Today it was mine. When we were called into the courtroom, my heart pounded so loudly I could hear it in my ears. The judge, an older man with a weary face, opened the file and asked me to speak first. I stood up. "Your Honor, my brother and I inherited our mother's ring. It was a family heirloom, and my mother made it clear she wanted me to keep it. But my brother sold it without my consent, disregarding her wish and violating our shared right." I handed over the folder. Inside were photographs of the ring, the inheritance certificate, text messages where my brother admitted to selling it, and most importantly, Aunt Lida's sworn statement that Mom had asked her to remind me the ring was meant for me. The judge flipped through the pages carefully. "Defendant, your response?" My brother stood, still wearing that mask of indifference. "I had the right. We're both heirs. There's no paperwork saying it was hers alone. It was just a piece of jewelry, and I sold it because I needed money." "Do you have proof that your sister agreed to the sale?" the judge asked. "No." "Was there a medical emergency or urgent situation that required an immediate sale?" "No," he muttered, avoiding eye contact. The judge was silent for a long moment, turning the documents over in his hands. My knees shook. I thought if he said dismissed, I would collapse right there. Finally, he looked up. "The wishes of the deceased, even if not formally documented, are supported by witness testimony. The ring was joint property, but disposing of it without the other heir's consent was unlawful. The court rules in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant must repay the value of the ring and cover court costs." At first the words didn't register. Only when my brother slumped back into his seat and a weight lifted from my chest did I realize we had won. I stepped outside into the cold air and inhaled deeply. As if for the first time in weeks I could finally breathe. I might never see the ring again, but I had recovered something even greater: justice. I knew Mom would have been proud. In that moment I understood something: small claims courts are not just bureaucracy. They are a chance for ordinary people. You don't need a lawyer costing thousands of dollars. What matters are facts, proof, determination. These courts give people like me the chance to say, I wasn't silenced. My voice was heard. The moral was clear. Sometimes even family can betray you, but truth still carries weight. If you stay silent, you're taken advantage of. But if you fight, you can reclaim respect, memory, and yourself.